it's Tanya, and I'm here again with the September 2016 Hip Kit Club kits, and this one is such a fun one. I had so much fun. I really didn't know what I was going to do with some of these elements on this chipboard sheet because, I mean, my kids aren't young, and I battle with, well, themed kind of elements as it is. So a unicorn and a mermaid would really, really stretch my imagination. But I was awake in the middle of the night, and you know, as you do when you're awake in the middle of the night, you think up layout ideas, and I came up with this one, which was to create a story using these elements, because as a kid I used to love these books where you would have the written words, and then some of the words were actual pictures, and that was the story. So that's what I went with. So I have a house and a little girl and a mermaid and a unicorn and a butterfly and a crown and love. And I am fortunate, I think I mentioned it in a previous video, I'm fortunate enough to have a wide format printer, so I was able to do this quite easily, and you will see I show you exactly how I managed to place my story, the words of my story, in the correct position, because I'm happy with the way I have my elements placed now. I think they look relatively cohesive and, you know, balanced, so I was happy with that. And the frame doesn't actually stay. At the moment it's just really helping me for where the photograph is going to go, although I do briefly contemplate trying to use it. So now I have my story, and that's a piece of vellum, and I figure if I just draw around all those elements and then go to Word, and what I did in Word is I created a 12 by 12 page and I made it 100%, and literally I had my vellum up against the computer and that is how I managed to get my story in all the right, well, reasonably right places. It worked really well, I have to say. It was super easy, and I didn't want to go with a font which would be difficult to read, which is why I just kept it very, very basic here. And I did make a bit of a mess, because silly me didn't realize that if you print on vellum, it's not going to be, you know, it's going to bleed and it's going to make a mess. So we got rid of that, and I now have the story printed on there, and it is: once upon a time, in a house far, far away, a girl named Jessica was born. Growing up, her life was peppered with stories of unicorns and mermaids, butterflies and crowns. It's no wonder she fell in love with this. And you'll see just now. The big reveal. It's for her birthday. She turned 21 recently. One of the presents she wanted was to have her hair done, and she loves blue, so she had blues and purples in her hair, and I must say it looks stunning, very mermaidy, which is basically where I got the idea from, and originally was because of the mermaid. So yeah, I figured it's different. It's not your usual layout, but I just love it. I had so much fun doing it. I had so much fun thinking up the story and using the elements. And actually, what I'm really pleased about is I got to use some stuff which I really didn't think I was going to. And it's always nice, you know, that sense of achievement when you're not giving away, or and there we go, gold Heidi shine. You're not, I don't want to say wasting, because it's not a waste if you don't use up most of, you know, your stuff in your kits, but it is nice to use something which you didn't think you were going to use, and in a, you know, in a different way. And yes, there's my grapefruit, which I'm now sprinkling on as well, and I'm showing you my stitching. I'm so chuffed with my stitching. I know those people that are, you know, sewing veterans are thinking, oh, you poor thing. But yes, I'm so chuffed with my sewing. I feel like I'm growing as a scrapbooker, because every time there's something new that I'm adding in, you know. It's the stitching and now the bringing up things to the camera to show you, you know. It's just, every time it's just a little bit more growth. I felt that the photograph needed something, so I'm going to do a bit of layering behind it, and using some of these Maggie Holmes Gather ephemera pieces that we got in a die cut set. And they don't have a white tone to them, they have a cream tone, and I'm one of these people that find it difficult to use cream with white. But when you do it like this, where you're only showing a tiny bit and you're mainly showing the color, then it works well. Then it doesn't make me go, ooh, I can't do that. And I just faff around with the placing of these layers, because it was just being a little bit awkward with me. So I'm just essentially trying to show you what I'm going to do and how I'm going to layer it, and then I just turn the camera off and glue it all together, because by now I'm just getting a little bit frustrated with life. So there, I'm showing you that's what I did. Showing you see, the growth is tremendous. And that is really all I do. Oh, and I add a heart. There we go. I do one more thing. I add a heart. And I'm sorry, I don't know why this is so wobbly. I apologize. It was steady and I have no idea why it suddenly went wobbly there. So yeah, please forgive me. It's all a learning curve. And here we go. Isn't that hair just beautiful? I think it is. So thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll chat again soon. Bye bye.